What's going on, college basketball fans? I hope you guys all had a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I know I did. I'm ready to get back into the college basketball content and starting off with our updated college basketball Dannyology Power 35 rankings. So I'm ready to get started. So I say subscribe if you guys are new. A ton of college basketball content coming here on the channel later on this week. In fact, maybe even tomorrow as I'm uploading this video. On Thursday or Friday, we're going to have our updated full bracket predictions where we fill out Joe Lunardi's bracketology from the first round all the way to the national championship. It's been, since the first couple weeks of the season since we've done one of those, so it's going to be a big video. Make sure you guys keep your eye out on it. Subscribe if you guys are new. And yeah, guys, let's get into it. All right, coming in here at number 1 this week, of course, we do have the Purdue Boilermakers. I think it would be pretty odd to see anybody's power rankings that has a number 1 that is not Purdue. I mean, how could you not have them at number 1 at this point? They have looked very, very good. They by far have the best resume, in my opinion. I mean, with all the teams that they have beaten so far, their only loss coming to Northwestern in a very close game, but they have beaten some awesome teams already this year, and they look pretty deep. They look deeper than they were last year. Their guard play looks a little bit better than it was last year. And I think they are going to be a force. And right now, they are the clear number 1 team, in my opinion. At number 2, I do have the Houston Cougars finally jumping up here to number 2. I was having them, linger around the 5, 6, 7 area because I didn't, and I still don't think I do, think they are quite as good as teams like Kansas, UConn, and maybe even like Marquette. But I'm going to have them up here at number 2 because they are undefeated. They don't play that hard of a schedule, but they are one of only 3 undefeated teams in the country already this year. There's only 3 left. And Houston, I do think that they are a 100% top 10 team, like talent-wise. And when you combine that with the fact that they are undefeated, I got to put them up here at number 2. We're going to find out more about Houston here when we get into Big 12 play, but you cannot deny the fact that they are undefeated. They got a hell of a coach in Kelvin Sampson, and they do have a very talented roster. Big LJ Cryer guy. I think that he is an amazing 3-and-D player, fits the Houston team very, very well. Him and Jamal Shed, a very good backcourt. I really like this Houston team. Do I necessarily think they're better than Kansas, UConn, Marquette? Not really, but I think they deserve this spot, and that's why they're up here at number 2 right now. Number 3, we do have Kansas, and I do believe the Kansas Jayhawks should 100% be in the top 5 and in the top 3. I mean, they look amazing. I think their only loss is to Marquette. And another team I'm very excited to see get into Big 12 play. Number 4, we do have the UConn Huskies. I know they did take a loss to Seton Hall over the past couple of weeks, but I still think UConn is very, very talented. Those type of losses are going to happen whenever you get into conference play and play in some road games. I guarantee you it's going to happen to Houston. It's going to happen to Purdue. It's going to happen to Kansas as well. I just think that UConn is a very, very talented team. I still have them up here at number 4. Number 5, we do have the Tennessee Volunteers. They did have 3 early losses when they did play in that early season tournament, all against very, very solid teams. But I do think that they have been playing so amazing over the entire course of the season. And right now, I think they deserve top 5 spot. I'm going to have them here at number 5. Number 6, I do have Marquette. And Marquette, some people may have them a little bit lower. I think that they are, like, when you watch them play, they are a bona fide top 10 team. And the close game that they played against Purdue, the dominating win they played against Texas, they've had some really, really impressive performances this year. The win over Kansas, like, Marquette is very, very good this year. And I think that people could easily forget and start to sleep on them, but I'm still very high on Marquette. As you can see it, they are up here at number 6. Number 7, jumping into the top 10 this week. How about the Fighting Illini? Their only 2 losses are to the 2 teams ranked ahead of them, Tennessee and Marquette, and Yeah, they've been playing awesome. I mean, that FAU win was already an amazing win for them, and now it just looks even better after FAU just beat Arizona. I think that this Illinois team is very underrated. I think that they are definitely the second best team in the Big Ten. Number 8, we do have Florida Atlantic, maybe the biggest winner of this past week, getting a huge win over Arizona in an amazing thriller of a game. Super fun to watch. One of my favorite games that I've watched so far this season. And yeah, Florida Atlantic, they're deep. They're experienced. They brought almost everybody back from last year's Final Four team. We know this, and they looked amazing against Arizona. FAU is up here at number 8. Number 9, we do have Arizona. Like I said, they just lost to FAU in an amazingly close game. Arizona has had a tough couple of past weeks where they lost to Purdue, FAU, not bad losses. I still think they are a top 10 team for sure. They still have had an amazing start to the season. They're still easily the best team in the Pac-12, but I'm going to drop them down here to 9 this week. We'll see if they can bounce back. Number 10, we do have the Kentucky Wildcats, and Kentucky has been playing really amazing. I mean, other than that loss to UNC Wilmington, they have had a very terrific start to the season so far, and their freshmen have looked amazing. I'm a big Rob Dillingham fan. I think that he has been awesome this year. Austin Reeves, Trey Mitchell, some good veterans in there as well. Kentucky playing amazing. I got them here at number 10. Number 11, we do have Ole Miss, and Ole Miss, I don't know why the AP and a lot of people still don't want to put Ole Miss up towards the top 10. I mean, they are one of only 3 undefeated teams on the season. I realize that they have not played too many great teams, but they have beaten Memphis. They have beaten a couple of other decent teams as well. But mostly they are playing scrubs, and I get that, but they're undefeated. They beat Memphis, who has looked really, really amazing this year. I got Ole Miss at number 11. I still think Chris Beard is an excellent coach. I know what he did with the allegations, all that stuff, to get fired from Texas is wrong, and that's maybe why the AP, a lot of people are hating on Ole Miss, and I get that, but Chris Beard is definitely proven that he is an amazing head coach. As far as basketball goes, you can't deny that. Number 12, we do have Memphis, and I do not know why the AP poll disrespects Memphis so much. I have them all the way up here at number 12. I had them in my top 10 originally, but I was like, I think I'm going to put Kentucky and Ole Miss above them. But yeah, I think Memphis has been playing like a top 10 team over the past couple of weeks, beating some really good teams like Clemson, like Texas A&M. They have been playing just awesome basketball, and yeah, Memphis, they played like a top 10 team. They're number 12 here for me this week. Number 13, we do have North Carolina. They took a loss over the past couple of weeks to Kentucky, but they still look pretty good. I still think Armando Bacot, he hasn't been playing like his absolute best this year, but still playing pretty good. RJ Davis has looked like an absolute superstar this year. He has really, really taken over to look like one of the best players in the entire country. I really like Harrison Ingram. Yeah, North Carolina, top 15 team for sure here at 13. Number 14, we do have Oklahoma. They took their first loss of the season since my last rankings to North Carolina. They're heading right behind them. And yeah, that was their first loss of the season. They still have awesome wins against Providence. That win's starting to look a lot better now, especially considering they blew out Providence. They also beat teams like Arkansas, which I'm still not completely out of as far as them turning things around this season. And yeah, Oklahoma looking very good. Cannot wait to see them get into Big 12 play. Number 15, we have our third and final undefeated team so far this season, James Madison. James Madison, Ole Miss, and Houston are our final 3 undefeated teams in Division I basketball. And yeah, what a surprise it has been for James Madison this year. Still hanging their hat on that one big win against Michigan State, but staying undefeated ever since then. And we gotta reward them for it. They're up here at number 15. Number 16, we do have Clemson, and Clemson, they took the one loss to Memphis here, but that's still their only loss on the season. And I think that Clemson, another team super, super underrated. this year right now. I mean, they have played awesome basketball and look like a very solid team in the ACC this year, but took that one loss, and I feel like they've been getting disrespected. I would even consider putting them a little bit higher than 16, but I feel like this is a good spot for them right here. Number 17, I do have Colorado State. Colorado State, one of my favorite mid-majors this year. I mean, they have looked absolutely awesome. Isaiah Stevens is an absolute stud. They still have really good wins over like Creighton, over Colorado. Those 2 wins right there are going to carry them all the way to March Madness. And yeah, how about Colorado State? 18, we do have BYU, and BYU, they took the 1 loss to Utah. They're in the Holy War. But still playing very good basketball. I don't feel like their resume is quite as good as a team like Clemson's or Oklahoma's as the other 1-loss teams. But all 3 of those teams, very surprising. Like, I figured Clemson would be pretty good because they are returning some solid guys, and they did hit the transfer portal pretty hard. Oklahoma and BYU, very surprising to be 1-loss teams, at least in my opinion this year. And pleasantly surprising, though. Pleasantly surprising. I love to see it, man. Number 19, we do have the Baylor Bears. And Baylor took a couple of losses since my last rankings. They're dropping down here to 19. I feel like this is a good spot for them. They still have some good wins over, like, Auburn this year. And Scott Drew is always going to be like in the mix of things. He's always going to have really good guards, as he's doing right now with Jacoby Walters. Baylor, they're always going to have great defense as well. They're here at 19. Number 20, we do have Auburn, a team that did lose to Baylor in a very close game this year. Things kind of lining up perfectly in that way. Auburn's been playing really good. They're a team that's kind of been rising for me, and a team that I would keep my eye out on if I were you guys. They're a team I'm definitely keeping my eye out on. I really like Bruce Pearl as a head coach. Super underrated. He's been to a Final Four before. I like this Auburn team. I like what they got here. Aiden Holloway, Janai Broom. They got some solid players. Number 21, we do have Colorado. And preseason, Colorado was a team that got a lot of hype, was a preseason top 25 team. And it's like, let's pump the brakes a little bit on Colorado. Let's see what they got. Let's see how they play first. But I'm kind of in on them right now. They've been playing really good. I like the freshman Cody Williams. He's a beast. I like Tristan Da Silva. They got Eddie Lampkin in there, which, I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge Eddie Lampkin guy. I was when he was back at TCU until last year. He didn't really perform that year, but the year before he was really good. I like Tristan Da Silva. I like the freshman Cody Williams. He's going to be the key for how far this Colorado team can go. And I like them here at 21 this year. For this week. They've been playing really good. Number 22, a team dropping for me a little bit, Gonzaga. Still in the top 25. A team that I feel like needs to drop after a couple of losses here since my last rankings. Not playing awful, but this team has still a ton of potential. And I feel like not a lot of people are talking about this year's Gonzaga team. They lost Drew Timme from last year, but they brought in an amazing point guard, a way better point guard that they've had from last year when they brought in Ryan Nembhard. I think that he has been playing awesome this year, and I think Antoine Watson is maybe their best player. I love Antoine Watson's game, and Gonzaga, they have a squad. Number 23, a team rising for me right now is Providence. They've been playing awesome. 2 back-to-back Big East wins, including a win over Marquette, I believe. And, they've been playing great basketball, including a big win over Marquette, which they absolutely killed, man. Providence playing good. They've been really slept on. Yes, they lost head coach Ed Cooley, but Kim English has been killing it there for the Friars, still keeping their guys like Bryce Hopkins. Providence looking really good. New Mexico, other than Colorado State, I think New Mexico might be my favorite mid-major this year. I mean, they have so many fun guards, and we got Grand Canyon down here as well, who's another one of my favorite mid-majors. There's so many really fun mid-majors this year. I cannot wait for March Madness. There's going to be a ton of upsets. But New Mexico is one of those teams that I think could go far this year. They're in my top 25 this week. They're climbing. They're going to continue to climb as long as they keep winning. I really like the Lobos this year. I'm on the hype train. Put them up here at number 24. At number 25, we got the Duke Blue Devils climbing back up. There was a point they fell out of my top 35, I think, 1 week, or they were like at 35. They're back in the top 25 this week, starting to climb back into the mix of things. They've been playing very good over the past couple of weeks since my last rankings. They have not lost. Still an excellent team, very, very talented, no denying that. It's just, can they continue to keep winning games? And I think as they get into ACC play, they definitely will. Because I'm not completely out on Duke being the best team in the ACC. I have Clemson and North Carolina ahead of them, but between those three teams, and even Miami could sneak back into the mix of things. That's going to be a tight race. I'm not completely out. I think Duke could be the most talented team in the ACC for sure. Number 26, I do have Texas. A lot of people don't like what they're seeing from Texas this year, and I get that. But they were missing Dylan Dessou for a long time, and I think they get him back. They're going to be playing very good. I'm excited to see them get into Big 12 basketball because I think Max Asmus, super underrated. He's been playing his absolute tail off without Dylan Dessou there. And Kane Shedrick was missing some games too. That's their entire front court. I'm higher on Texas than most as far as their potential goes and their talent. But right now, I definitely think that 26 is a pretty good spot for them. Number 27, we do have Grand Canyon University, killing it this year. They have an amazing player on their team as well, killing it. Great guards. I like their coach. I like they're a very well coached team. They got a good win over San Diego State this year. Only one loss on the season. They're killing it. Number 27. Number 28, we do have the Utah Utes. Continue to climb. They have not lost since they cracked my top 35 last rankings after they beat BYU, and after that they have not lost since, so they're jumping up here to number 28 this week. Number 29, we do have Nevada, another very good mid-major team who has only one loss on the season, and I believe that they just beat Drake not too long ago as well, which is a great win. I like the Wolfpack this year. They're here at 29. Number 30, I've been kind of liking what I'm seeing from Iowa State as of late. I think they have a lot of potential as maybe the top sleeper in the Big 12 Conference this year. Number 31, we do have San Diego State staying in my top 35. They're always hanging around there, but they've been playing good. Ever since I lost to Grand Canyon, they have been killing it and looking really good. They're up here at number 31. Let's see if they can keep it up. They will for sure skyrocket if they can get on a big win streak. Number 32, we do have Wisconsin. Wisconsin is the team that has some really good wins, a couple of bad losses on the season, but beat teams like Marquette. They've looked really good over the course of the season. I like Wisconsin. I think 32 is a good spot for them right now. Number 33, we do have Villanova. I know that they are 8-4 on the season and have 4 losses. But against Quad 1 opponents, they are undefeated. I think they're 3-0 or 4-0 against Quad 1 opponents, which is just crazy considering they are 8-4. But they play great against other good teams, and they just beat another good team in Creighton on the road in Omaha, a extremely hard place to play. And Villanova's up here at number 33, back into the rankings. And right behind them, the team I just mentioned that they just beat is the Creighton Blue Jays. Creighton, they've looked off over the past couple weeks since my last rankings, and they're down here at number 34. But they done this last year. They got off to a hot start last year, and then they were losing a ton, man. They looked bad. And then they ended up making it to the Elite Eight. So let's not get completely out on Creighton, but right now they definitely deserve to be down here at 34. And to round out our Dannyology 35 for this week, we do have the Miami Hurricanes down here at number 35. Another team that has somewhat struggled, but is definitely a team that I'm not out on as far as turning things around and being able to climb the rankings again. Teams to watch, teams that just missed out on my rankings, if they can pick up a couple of wins this week, teams ahead of them look bad or drop a game, they can definitely be back into the rankings or hit the rankings for the first time next week. That Northwestern, they've looked really good. They're the only team to beat Purdue this year, but then they go out and they lose to Chicago State. You could argue that they still should be ranked, but I mean, Chicago State, that's pretty bad. They're going to have to climb their way back in. Mississippi State, a team that I think I really wanted to put them in the Power 35. I just could not find a spot for them. No doubt in my mind, if they get a couple wins, that if they stay undefeated, if they have an undefeated week until next week, they'll be in the rankings. Dayton's a mid-major that I'm really high on. I really like them. They're out of the A10 conference. Very high on Dayton. Virginia's a team that was in the past couple of weeks. They always seem to be in, out. Inconsistent, man. Inconsistent offense for sure for Virginia, but definitely a team I'm keeping my eye out on. Nebraska's actually looked, pretty good. They had some bad losses there, but they have looked good over the past couple of weeks. Definitely got my eye out on them. Princeton still only has the one loss on the season, and they are definitely a team that could jump back in. Drake is a team that lost to Nevada. I think they actually just lost to UAB in overtime as well. Drake is a very good mid-major, no doubt about it. They just have to continue to close out those games. Like they can't be losing to UAB. But I do really like this Drake Bulldogs team. And then at Ohio State, I think they're like 10-2 on the season. Pick up a couple of good wins, they can definitely find their way back into the rankings. So that's going to do it for this week's Dannyology Power 35. Let me know what you guys think. Who should be higher? Who should be lower? Did somebody get snubbed? Let me know down below in the comment section. And yeah, guys, coming out, this will be coming out Wednesday morning. Either Thursday or Friday, we're going to have our updated filling out Joe Lenardi's bracketology. Full March Madness predictions going to be out later this week. Keep your eye out on it. Subscribe if you guys are new. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching.